deadly germs are creeping over the earth, killing every human.
Talked
almost
2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
So, did you hear about the most recent bill?
Are you talking about 50-50?
6620.
6620?
It wouldn't ban them. It would.
Makes them 21 and older.
21,
the 18 to
21 plus.
Yeah.
And background
Have fun,
checks.
Yep. All right.
Good news is we don't need to interview you this time.
Okay.
We heard an hour and a half of testimony from
Sure.
both sides. Pretty good stuff, in my opinion, from both sides. And so we just need, because we've been here before, just shooting handguns, weapons,
Right.
assault rifles. This, I know, is not those. But do you have like flash suppressors and examples of tactical devices? I've got a list here of the bill.
You show me your list of what you call a
Yeah.
tactical device, and I'll show you what it is.
That would be great.
All right.
I'm sure it was obviously about guns.
Yeah,
We weren't talking to you about lottery sales.
Yeah.
we had video.
Assault. You always hear assault rifle.
Sure.
Show me what that is.
An assault rifle we wouldn't have actually in here because we don't have fully automatic weapons in
You
here.
don't have fully automatic,
No.
and that's the key, is that
Correct.
because that's illegal to have the fully automatic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have bump
Absolutely.
stocks?
Nope.
Yeah. Have you ever?
Yeah, sure.
Is that something more recently that doesn't sell as well, or?
No. I mean, yeah. If I suppose if you could get a bunch of them, they'd probably sell fairly okay, but they've never really worked very well anyway. And most people that have had them at some point have ended up either giving them away or selling them to somebody else.
Yeah.
It doesn't work the way a lot of people think it works. So they've never been really popular.
It does look like that is going to pass.
Yeah. That's insane. A tactical feature? Yeah, you've got a definition of what a tactical feature is.
Here's the non-summarized version.
Okay.
Take your time reading through that.
Yeah, one or more of the following. Let's muzzle bag thread. These people are ridiculous.
So again, this isn't banning these things. It's just meaning that an 18.
Well, no, it's banning these things from an 18
19,
and
20-year-olds.
right. So basically, our fighting youth. Banning it for our fighting youth, unless previously agreed to be under the control of the government, right?
Through the military.
Because it does exempt people that join and go into the military.
If you're active.
So if you're not active, they're not saying you're not an adult when you're 18 to 21 years of age, right? They're saying these people aren't old enough to be able to be trained with them or do anything, yet they're willing to take them.
Sure.
Right. You know why? Because nobody wants a 21-year-old joining boot camp. Because that guy's going to suck wind compared to all the youngsters, right?
18-year-old, yeah.
So essentially what this does is it takes away our fighting youth, period. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
So we need the visuals to help.
Yeah. All right, so...
Sorry to get you fired up.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, it's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
You can help us educate folks about that.
So, well, and that's one of the reasons why we allow you guys to come in here, because, I mean, if they're going to ban it, at least they're looking at what it is and why those things are,
And
right?
you and your customers and fellow gun owners are going to watch our B-roll tonight and say, well, at least they were showing the right pictures.
Yeah.
Because we're guilty of just saying, yeah, it's guns.
Right.
But, I mean, that...
So let's start off with a detachable magazine.
Yeah.
Okay. So we all know what that looks like.
I mean, that's the clips here.
Yeah, the thing that.
Magazine.
Yeah.
Then is it at a certain amount, or is it any detachable magazine?
By definition, is a
By
magazine.
definition, it says if it has a detachable magazine and any one of the following.
Yeah.
Right. So we start off with what
There,
is-
but also...
Right. So detachable magazine, things that stick out the bottom, regardless of how long, right?
Yeah.
Detachable magazine. In fact, if you take a look at this guy right here, that's a detachable magazine in this gun, right?
And that holds how many rounds?
This one probably 3 or 4,
And that's a bolt action, right?
and it's a bolt action, right?
That scope also, I think, is on the list.
Yeah, a scope. Really? I didn't get that far.
Yeah, I think, well here, I'll just run it through.
So you can't, I guess you can't have a detachable mag on your bolt action gun.
Nope.
And have a
Detachable
scope on
magazine.
it.
A pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously beneath the action of the weapon.
So that would be something like this. See these, how they come down,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That would be the pistol grip that protrudes.
as opposed to straight up and down, perpendicular like
Yeah,
a.
right.
As opposed to this. See, this right here was considered a pistol grip back in the day. See how it goes like this instead of a straight one like this,
Yeah.
right? See, this would be considered a pistol
So
grip
that-
back in the day. But they do talk about it being conspicuously what?
A pistol grip that protrudes
Protrudes. So that would be like this.
conspicuously beneath the action of the weapon.
Conspicuously?
Yeah.
So obviously, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got thumbhole stocks.
Thumbhole stocks. Yep.
This is a thumbhole stock. It's a hole where your thumb goes through to be able to maintain control of the weapon, right?
We're going a lot here.
Same thing right here. This is a thumbhole stock.
Folding or telescopic, a folding or telescoping stock.
Okay? So this would be a telescoping stock.
Standing by here, a second hand grip or a protruding grip that can be held by the non-trigger hand. Front.
Yeah. Front single down grip,
And is that
vertical pistol grip.
cocking it when you do that?
Yeah, on this particular model, yes. On some of the other ones, there's just one there to help you steady it a little bit.
Hi there. I know, all kinds of weird people talking loud here. Flash suppressor, muzzle brake, muzzle compensator, or threaded barrel designed to accommodate a flash suppressor,
Right.
muzzle brake, or muzzle.
So you see these things on the end?
Yeah.
If the slots are in line with the way that the bullet is traveling,
Yeah.
it is what's called a flash suppressor.
That is a flash.
It reduces the flash in your face, so it makes the flash in line with the barrel so you can see past it.
So you got 3 dots here, 3 circles here. That's,
These are a muzzle brake.
that's a muzzle brake.
Right, so perpendicular
So any of those.
as well as holes
So
reduces the felt recoil,
All
the
of
slam
these.
that comes down.
all of these.
No, those are two different things
Okay.
entirely.
But one's a muzzle brake.
One's a muzzle brake,
muzzle-
one's a flash hider.
Flash suppressor.
Yeah, flash suppressor.
Okay.
Sure.
So those are all.
Yeah.
Flash suppressor's flat, muzzle brake is, in this case, circles.
Circles. So perpendicular and parallel too.
Grenade
Or-
launcher or flare launcher?
There are no grenade launchers that are legal other than ones that are, well, no, that's a rocket launcher, I guess. But those things are not, I mean, you can't have one anyway.
Got it.
A flare launcher, though, you can have the 37 millimeter. I don't have one of those.
Is that what I have
But-
in my boat, if I have a boat?
Yes.
So that's a,
Yeah, so your flare in your boat, the long thing that launches
Yeah.
it, yeah, that would actually be considered a flare launcher. In which
Flare
case,
gun.
if I'm 18, I
Yeah.
can't have a flare gun.
no, you need to
Under the
die
slot.
in the ice. Yeah, you shouldn't have been out spelunking. Is what happened.
A semi-automatic center fire or rim fire rifle with a fixed magazine that has the capacity to accept more than 10 rounds. A semi-automatic center fire or rim fire rifle that has an overall length of less than 30 inches.
Less than 30 inches. So, well, I never heard that one before.
Yeah.
So your standard, in order for it to be classified federally as a rifle, is 26 inches. So what they're saying is, anything that's classified as a rifle by the federal government that's 26 inches, if it doesn't have an additional however many inches on the end, which now you can't put anything on the end to make it longer, because there's no way to, you can't thread it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
And
that
you
cuts
gotta-
them out of like
What's the
everything
grade?
that's a standard.
The,
These are
bronze-
standard 26 inches.
A semi-automatic shotgun that has both of the following. A pistol grip that protrudes conspicuously
Yeah.
beneath the action, thumbhole stock or vertical hand grip, a folding or telescoping stock,
Yeah.
or an ability to accept a detachable magazine. A conversion kit, part or combination of parts from which a semi-automatic rifle or shotgun with tactical features can be assembled if those parts are in the possession or under the control of the same person. You okay if I do a thing where I talk to the camera?
You go right ahead.
Reflection from my light.
How the bill would make it a lot harder for minors to get guns. Well, the bill This new gun bill aims to improve school campus safety and make it easier to report someone who may be easier to report someone who is suspicious. But the most controversial element is how the law would make it close to impossible, make it harder for a minor to buy a gun. All right. This new gun bill aims to make school campuses safer and make it easier for someone to report. This new gun bill aims to make campuses safer and make it easier to report someone who may be considered suspicious. But the most controversial element is how it will become nearly impossible for someone under 21 to buy a gun. The bill's sponsor, Senator David Frock, a Democrat from Seattle, says he doesn't know if he has enough votes to pass this bill. He did say today, following this morning's hearing, he said he would be making some changes to try to improve, making some changes to the wording of the bill to try to improve its chances. This new gun bill aims to make campuses safer and make it easier for someone to report a person considered suspicious. But the most controversial element of this bill is how it would make it close to impossible, not close to impossible, how it would make it much more difficult, much more difficult for someone under 21. This new gun bill aims to make campuses safer and make it easier for someone to report a person who may be considered suspicious. But the most controversial element is how the bill would restrict someone under the age of 21 from being able to purchase guns. The bill's sponsor, Senator David Frock, a Democrat from Seattle, says he does not know if he has the votes needed to pass this bill. He told us after the hearing that he plans on making some revisions to try to improve the bill's chances. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Considering amendments to like a buyback program, what's that?
Oh, I hadn't heard that. That would probably, although, people are reluctant to do that sometimes too. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like using our taxes to buy back our stuff.
I appreciate your
Anytime,
time.
gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It's nice to be able to come here and
Appreciate it.
Always good to see you.
Yeah, the other one.
Just passed a ban on bump stocks. We're going to get to that in just a moment.
But first, students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas in Florida are preparing to go back to class tomorrow, 2 weeks after a gunman opened fire in the school, killing 14 students and 3 adults. The community, which is struggling to cope with such an enormous tragedy, came together today to support one another.
And this is how they preface the whole story, of course.
Right. School. Today, a Florida House committee responded to the Parkland school shootings by approving a bill that would raise the minimum wage to buy a gun from 18 to 21. The legislation also
The minimum wage? That's funny.
For people looking to buy a rifle. It also creates a program that could allow some teachers to carry concealed weapons in class. It passed 23-6 after more than 4 hours of discussion.
You're opening up
An attempt to
Pandora's
change
box,
gun
though.
laws in the state brought out parents of mass shooting victims and a lobbyist for the National Rifle Association. South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson explains what would change if the controversial bill passes.
This new gun bill aims to make campuses
Hey, there we are.
easier for someone to report a person who may be considered suspicious. But the most controversial element is how the bill would restrict someone under the age of 21 from being able to purchase guns. Background checks, and just like for handguns, you need to be 21, not 18, to be able to buy rifles or shotguns that have what are considered tactical features, like folding or telescoping stocks or flash suppressors. The bill's sponsor, Senator David Frock, a Democrat from Seattle, says he does not know if he has the votes needed to pass this bill. He told us after the hearing that he plans on making some revisions to try to improve the bill's chances. In Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.
Advocates say proposed laws go too far. Good evening, thanks for joining us. The school shooting in Florida could end up changing Washington State's gun laws.
A proposal to create new restrictions on gun sales made for an emotional hearing in Olympia today. South Bureau Chief Drew Mickelson looks at the proposal that aims to make it harder for teens to buy guns. Drew?
Well, Lori, the senator behind this bill says there is no doubt they would not have had this debate today had it not been for the Valentine's Day shootings down in Parkland, Florida. But with all the motivation and emotion surrounding this issue, that still does not mean it's a done deal and it'll pass for sure.
This is common sense legislation that can stop
the carnage.
One issue, very different opinions.
More people are killed with kitchen knives, baseball bats, fists, and feet than rifles of all types. So why all the hoopla about what you refer to as assault rifles?
Senate Bill 6620 would give schools more money for campus security and would set up a hotline for students to report suspicious activity via text, phone call, or email.
There is no place in society for these mass weapons of destruction.
But it's the third element of the bill that brought out the passion of parents who had children either killed or injured in mass shootings.
My son was shot in the back and seriously injured with heavy blood loss.
Paul Kramer's son Will survived a shooting in a Mukilteo party in 2016, but 3 of his friends died at the hands of a 19-year-old with an AR-15.
We are long overdue for us to send a message to our children that they matter more to us than providing easy access to military-style weaponry.
To buy a handgun in Washington, you need to be 21 and pass a background check. But you can buy a rifle or a shotgun without the check at 18. This new bill would require background checks, and the purchaser would have to be over 21 for any rifle or shotgun with what are referred to as tactical features. Everything from removable magazines, folding or telescoping stocks, and devices like muzzle brakes. The bill would make nearly every weapon at Olympia's private sector arms off limits to those under 21.
The folks that would be most heavily affected by this are the ones that are least likely to be doing anything bad.
Firearms instructors, gun owners, and the National Rifle Association oppose the new rules for long guns.
This proposal would prevent law-abiding adults age 18 to 20 from purchasing modern rifles and shotguns for self-defense, thereby severely limiting an entire segment of law-abiding adults from exercising their inherent right to self-defense.